And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one today. Another epic VeVe live stream. Today we just have one drop. Nothing too crazy today. Nothing too limited. Just your standard blind box Marvel comic book drop today. Shout out to everyone joining the live stream. We got Chris in the building early, first person on the live today. Good luck, Chris, if you are going for the drop. We got Punch in the building as always. Shout out to my guy. I'm going to be going over the details today. How many editions each rarity has, the different covers we have today. Also, I got two videos. I have one from Taps Trade. Shout out to Taps, going over these promo codes in the last AMA with Reese. I want to touch on this video. I think he, uncovers a lot of gems in here. Also, I want to touch on the video that we never finished from NFT Pirates. My very first ever interview with them. We'll go over the second part of that one in just a second. Let me share my screen in just a moment. Going over the details for today. Amazing Spider-Man issue number 256. I like the covers on these. I think as we get closer to the moment, you guys keep hearing me say this on the live streams now, as we get closer to being able to put these in our showrooms, I think a lot of these VeVe exclusive covers, which we have again for the ultra rare and the rare today, I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to show these off in the showrooms. Secret rares as well, especially those low mint commons, just all the comics. I think the comics are going to do great. Once we get closer to the huge catalyst, the website, that web app, being able to put these in our showrooms, the comics are going to take off, I think, once this all happens. This is the common for today. I like the common a lot. I'm hoping I get a 3-digit common on the drop today. We got the uncommon. I think the uncommon looks great, too. This is one of the few uncommons I think a lot of people are going to like. I like the aesthetics, the black and white. This colorway right here pops. We got the rare. I like the rare. Ultra rare might be one of my favorites today. Secret rare. A lot of people like the white backgrounds. I think the ultra rare is my favorite today. Ultra rare or maybe the common. I'm liking this uncommon a lot, though. Let me know in the chat which is your favorite today. I feel like we may have some different opinions. I think a lot of people are going to like the uncommon and the rares. But nothing too crazy, like I said today. 30,000 total editions. 21,000 for the common. 5,000 for the uncommon. 2,350 for the rare. 1,050 for the ultra rare. 600 for the secret rare. Also, I think we may have a little something special for tomorrow's drop. I may have one of my hometown boys. Shout out to Tyler Gear. I think he may be coming over for the drop. Have a little VeVe interview as well. Probably the first person on my channel. It's going to be the start to bringing a lot of different people from the community onto the channel, talking about maybe their experience, maybe why they got into VeVe, the potential they saw, and maybe their opinions right now, because we know a lot of things have changed in the community, marketplace-wise. So I want to hear a lot of different people's opinion, all kinds of things. Super Simono, what's up, JD? Bobby Green, JD, I have a sickness with the VeVe exclusive cover comic books. Missing only 6 now to have them all. Wow. Shout out to Bobby Green. I do think that you're probably ahead of the pack with this one, Bobby Green. I think as we get closer to having the comics being just a norm, shown on your profile, shown on the showrooms, I think a lot of people are going to start to collect the VeVe exclusives then. Right now, it's still kind of like a niche, I would say, a niche part. And not too many are collecting all the VeVe exclusives. I think maybe here and there. I have a few of them. I have a handful. I would say maybe a little bit more than average, but nothing too crazy of a collection. I just like a lot of the artwork on a lot of these VeVe exclusives. I have a few secret rares, but I'm a big fan of the ultra rares. I think a lot of the ultra rares are slept on right now. As we continue to see the secret rares move on up, I think the ultra rares, and with that said, the rares too, I think they're being slept on. Not financial advice. At $6.99, I got for 5. It's not a big L. I think you meant, Chris, you're going for 5 of them today. Solid move. Yeah, it's only $6.99 price. I'm only going to go for 1 today. I think tomorrow's comic may be a little bit more sought after, but we'll see what happens. Ultra rare is my favorite. Not that I'll get it on the drop. Not with that kind of light. Not with that kind of luck. Super Simono. I feel like a lot of this is kind of manifesting. You guys have seen it all the time. How many times you guys manifested for me thinking I'm going to get a secret rare, ultra rare, and I end up getting something crazy. Super Simono, I'm going to try to do this for you. I'm hoping you get a rare or ultra rare today. I think people are loving the VeVe exclusive covers today. I'm gonna dive into. We got Hamoon in the chat. Let's see here. We got Taps Trades video coming on up. Shout out to Taps. If you guys aren't following Taps, make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel. Run up the likes for his videos. Promo code utility is super exciting. We're gonna dive into the details in just a moment. It's only a 10-minute long video. Figuring I'll probably stop in a few times going over some things, but probably just gonna let this one play out for the most part. If you guys got anything in the chat you want to add, feel free to add it in as well.
Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and we've heard a lot about VeVe promo codes over the past month. Not just in one, but roughly about 3 AMAs directly from the Call Me VeVe team as something they're very excited about and is a potential game changer. But what could it look like, and what's the long game? Well, it mentioned it tying together physical and digital collectibles, working with a major toy company, events, and it mentioned utility with movies. So I've been researching, and I'm very, very excited for what promo codes can bring. In this video, I'm going to break down who I believe is that major toy company manufacturer that they could be working with, how this could all roll out, and what major movies are coming this year that VeVe could be partnering with. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community, feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. This video is speculative, but I wanted to show my findings and why I believe...
I didn't know Taps had a Dunny back here. Let's go. Shout out Tristan Eaton.
Some of these things may come to be. After all, some of our past speculation on licensors ended up coming true. So let's start with some of the major toy brands, because this really jumped out to me the first time they brought up in an AMA, and I brought up again during the AMA with Reese about 4 minutes and 44 seconds in. When you look at the top 20 toy manufacturers, you see Hasbro and Hot Wheels and Funko Pop, My Little Pony, Mattel, Bandai Namco, Barbie, and I'm hiding number 1 on purpose. Now, the possibility of some of these working with VeVe.
What do you guys think is number 1? It might begin with a P word.
Makes sense if they're already in NFTs. So which of these already have launched NFTs? Several. You can see Barbie from Mattel already had a Ballman X Barbie high fashion auction through Mattel Creations, and I did not really hear anything about this. I'm not sure how well they've done. Hasbro already made their NFT debut with a Power Rangers collection on wax. You can see the Dino Megazord actually looks pretty sweet. However, I have wax NFTs and I don't remember seeing this. Bandai Namco, which is number 2, announced an anime NFT project called Denobu World, and I don't really remember seeing much about this at all. There are others, but some of these who stepped into the NFT space kind of fell flat with their first launch. So what does that tell you? Where you launch your NFTs, and some of these that have already launched on other platforms could be coming to VeVe in the future. We've seen tons of FUD over the past year about people bringing up Back to the Future NFTs were launched on Flare, DC NFTs on Palm, Star Trek on Recur, and the list goes on. But don't forget, that door swings both ways, because those brands who dip their toes on other NFT platforms can also come to VeVe. However, I believe one of the toy brands that VeVe may be working with is the top dog, something high caliber enough to rival Disney and Marvel, and that's Lego. When it comes to toy brands, leading the pack is definitely Lego. None even come close. The second, Bandai Namco, is third. The value of Lego.
Could you imagine when we get Lego one day and we can start building Lego blocks, like our showrooms? We can just make all kinds of creations. You know, I was thinking about too in my showroom recently. I think someone else might have mentioned this to me in an interview late night. I don't think this was my idea. So this is your idea. Put it in the chat. Shout out to you. They were talking about a Hot Wheels track, how you can make that, you know, create your own Hot Wheels tracks, make your own racing game out of it. I was in my showroom the other day and I was almost thinking about the exact same thing. A couple of my centerpieces, like a gold circle at the bottom of the floor. And I was just thinking of just racing my DeLorean versus the Echo One around in a circle. And could you just imagine if we can build racetracks?
Why, oh why, would I think it's Lego? I have a number of reasons why I believe this. You know how VeVe mentioned that they were working with Marvel long before they ever announced it? Same with Disney and many other licensors. Well, Lego alluded to NFTs 1 year ago on a tweet and just deleted it, and then we never heard anything about it again. First of all, that glitchiness.
I'm gonna rewind that part.
Same with Disney and many other licensors. Well, Lego alluded to NFTs 1 year ago on a tweet and just deleted it, and then we never heard anything about it again. First of all, that glitchiness kind of reminds me of what Rewind Collected does. Completely separate thought, but we know that licensors have chosen to shift around when they launch NFTs on VeVe. Lego could have very well done the same as many of the other brands have chosen to do. Another reason is they're extremely lined up well with partnerships. Fox of the Simpsons, Marvel Superhero, Warner Brothers Lord of the Rings, or Hobbit trilogies, as well as ongoing Star Wars partnership, all underneath the licensors that we have. So Lego has built their success off building tons of relevant partnerships, and some of those partnerships are the biggest.
Look at this, Lego superheroes. Come on, we already have all these superheroes. You've always seen the, Lego Star Wars, like you just mentioned. There's Lego Steamboat Willie now.
Partners with VeVe. Even Frank Kozik's Labbit has a Lego. He has a
that is
partnership
awesome.
with Lego. Next reason is Lego would entirely make sense for our VeVe showrooms and for the VeVeverse. Now, Lego did just announce, or they're working on some kind of metaverse with Epic in order to basically compete with Facebook because of the massive fees that they're charging. Now, in order to compete with Meta or Facebook, they're going to have interoperability. They're going to have to work with a number of other projects in order to really build up user base into that metaverse. And the ability to use Legos in our showrooms and the VeVeverse would be substantial. You could build.
Could you imagine what we could build in our showroom? Shout out to all the Vaultaholics out there. Like, we're already almost building all this stuff with just the characters that we're given,
Anything you want. You think about how you can make them potentially an infinite supply. We would buy them just to build things in the VeVeverse, and they would collect a huge amount of money just by doing that through VeVe. I mean, block-based metaverses have proven successful too, right? You look at Roblox, you look at Minecraft, you look at Sandbox. So most likely they would also work with Sandbox, but the king of blocks is going to need to make a splash through multiple sides, both centralized and decentralized. Now, Reese mentioned that this year, this will be rolled out digitally, right? Online, essentially. But the long view is potentially partnering with large retailers in the future. Well, HRO, through a partnership with Cardamundi, has already shown us that the big box retail stores are embracing NFTs and ready to hop in. Walmart is even working on its own metaverse with NFTs and crypto. I believe this was some of the breadcrumbs that Al Khan was referring to way back in the interview with him in July, where he didn't see VeVe as the Netflix of NFTs. He thinks of VeVe as the Walmart of NFTs.
My own dream for VeVe, which is that VeVe becomes a marketplace for a lot of things, not just digital collectibles.
VeVe is going to become a marketplace for a lot of things, not just digital collectibles. Remember when I kept saying this is Amazon when Amazon only sold books? What does Amazon sell now? Everything, right? That's why I truly believe this is just like Amazon when 1990s, late 1990s, Amazon stock was $20. Competition, Barnes and Noble, all these other, store books in the physical world were selling the books. People thought, why would anybody buy books online? Put your credit card online and buy things digitally? That was a fad. That wasn't going to last. That's what people were thinking. People were saying Jeff Bezos moving too slow, all the competition. Well, now Amazon doesn't just sell books, right? Amazon has blown up to become the household name it is. And they sell everything now. That's what VeVe's going to be. I truly believe it.
Experiences. There's a whole litany of things that VeVe could represent that could offer to a collectible universe. It's not limited to just digital collectibles. It could be movies, could be television, all kinds of things that are collectible, but aren't necessarily but in addition.
He talks about movies. An Al Khan video from 2018 has already came out and said Disney, we're gonna use VeVe to promote Disney's new movies, right? That's insane to think about.
What we're doing currently. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of exciting things. I said we've identified that that I think are going to be fun. But I think I see this as a real lifestyle brand, and that
Omi is a lifestyle just started up.
it's like when somebody said this is the Netflix of digital collectibles, I think we're far greater than that. I think we're far greater than that. I think we have a much more. We're we're the Walmart of digital collectibles, because we're going to have more things and more stuff, and and more ability to present things to you.
Not to mention, we also have Jeremy Padower from Jazzware Toys as well.
Huge shout out to Jeremy. A lot of you guys probably know Jeremy by now on Twitter. If you guys don't, make sure you guys go follow Jeremy on Twitter. Jeremy Com.
Who's an early investor and tied to the Ecomi team, and his toys sell in Walmart, Target, and others. Imagine the connections that these two alone have. And finally, promo codes could be tied again, or it sounds like they are going to be redeeming tickets or something, maybe specific collectibles tied to upcoming movie releases. When the 007 No Time to Die came out, we didn't have promo codes back then. So the question is, what movies are coming out this year that they have the license for already, and we all lose our minds if they came out with this utility? There are a few new movies.
We got Thor, I think Toy Story, not Toy Story, but Buzz Lightyear is another one. I even think Wall-E's coming out with a new movie.
Coming out in 2022. Biggest new films including Marvel, DC, Netflix. The first ones mentioned are Black Panther. We have NFTs already for. Thor: Love and Thunder. We haven't seen Thor besides Raw. And Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness are the big ones from Marvel this year. Coming up in 2 weeks is the next Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which, funny enough, David Yu did retweet, which kind of sticks out. Also coming, Jurassic Park and Avatar. Now, Jurassic Park is an interesting one, right? That license has been on the VeVe.
Exactly. Jurassic Park. We all know David Yu's been teasing the T-Rex. If you guys want to see the T-Rex that he's teased, go on David Yu's Instagram account, scroll down a few posts, and you'll see the T-Rex in there.
Forever. We were hopeful that we were going to get it way back when, but we still haven't seen it. We saw 1 year ago where they were teasing us with a T-Rex knocking over collectibles in David Yu's house, but this never came to fruition. However, Reese did confirm again in my AMA that the licensors that they have announced, they haven't lost, besides maybe NFLPA. So potentially Jurassic Park could be one of those movies, which Jurassic World Dominion is scheduled to be released in theaters on June 10th, just a little over a month away. Also potentially coming this year are Top Gun. We like vehicles, right? And we saw some vehicles tied to the 007 drops, so maybe we'll be seeing some Top Gun jets maybe in our VeVe showroom. Again, Jurassic World Dominion, Lightyear. The Buzz Lightyear movie is coming out June 17th.
That's going to be huge.
Super Pets. And in Carter, a movie specifically about Agent Carter. Also coming in May is a Ultraman movie. And that's just this year, right? We've already seen the 007. It looks like we'll probably see another, maybe one or two this year, hopefully. But what's going to continue into next year? We have the Marvels, Aquaman, Spiderman Across the Spider-Verse, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, an untitled Star Trek movie, and Star Wars.
So many big things are coming. And you got to remember, too, the big thing about this is that VeVe didn't plan to be this big this early. All of last year was supposed to be 30,000 users. Think about that. They anticipated 30,000 users for the entire 2021 year. The fact that we blew up, I think set back a few of these maybe planned, synchronized drops of some of these movies. So I think 2022 this year, maybe later in the year, but 2023, I think will be a huge, huge year for VeVe.
3 Star Wars movies will arrive every other year between the Avatar sequels in 2023, 2025, and 2027. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about what promo codes can offer, right? With toy manufacturers, with movies, with eventually going into big box retail stores. And yes, right now markets are way down. They're down.
And, he just touched on the movies side of things, right? Wait until we start getting, they've talked about this in the very, very early days. I think a lot of this got pushed back, obviously, but what about geolocations? Meaning they're all about taking people out of the metaverse and into augmented reality, kind of that combination. And they've talked about partnering with all types of brands and places. So can you imagine if, they have something in New York Comic-Con, or not even a Comic-Con, just maybe New York, maybe colleges, maybe sporting events, right? Maybe NFL games. You go to the NFL game, type in the promo code that you get or scan the promo code, whatever the case is, get a digital collectible. Sky is, the limit.
VeVe, they're down for crypto, they're down for stocks. All markets are rough. But we know there's a lot of catalysts stacking up for the end of this quarter with web version, MTL, KYC. But just like that 007 ticket thing was a surprise last year, promo codes may be the unexpected jump start back to the market that we're just not expecting. We're already tying physical collectibles back to digital collectibles. You see tons of people, including myself, who are buying the physicals because of VeVe. The big toy manufacturers and licensors get that. They see it. It's a huge value prop to them. So
the other huge value prop that I just want to touch on, that Hamoon, shout out to Hamoon in the live chat right now, talked about how he thinks Disney loves VeVe, just the money they make on fees, 100%. Another huge value prop, that Taps keeps touching on. One thing also is that all these collectibles, they're digital. So there is no manufacturing cost that these companies have to worry about. There is no shipping cost, distribution cost. These are all just poof, made. And now they get to see the accumulation of all the resales, the percentages that they see. Disney is, I think, getting their minds blown how this can happen with the ease of access.
What's going to happen to the space and the values when a major toy manufacturer like Lego or Mattel or whatever is involved. Imagine what happens when a major movie release of something that everyone loves, no offense, James Bond, but something like Jurassic World or Black Panther 2, and then in the future, possibly walking into a Walmart or a Target, buying something physical that you have on your shelf that you can then scan and then have in your showroom in the VeVeverse. Do not sleep on promo codes because they are going to be exciting. As always, if you found my content valuable and so, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below. The likes and comments appease the algo overlords and help my channel continue to grow. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell for future content.
And Hamoon said, no returns, no refunds, no customer complaints, etc. The only complaint we have is sitting at our houses at our luxury and saying that the drops sold out too quick, So that's another huge part. Shout out to Taps, amazing video. I'm going to get to some of these live chats real quick. But absolutely, I think a lot of these brands are starting to understand the possibilities of everything going digital. Again, we're still in that wild, wild west phase, I truly believe, of people saying, is it a fad? Is digital collecting going to be something that lasts? They're not even saying digital collecting. They're saying NFTs still. Are NFTs going to last? I just saw a NFL pro player going to the combine. Actual NFL teams, sports agents, they're all asking them questions for interviews. The one guy talked about how he's into NFTs, and it was a red flag for people. Think about that. This guy said he's a up-and-coming superstar NFL player going to the combine, the draft. People are asking him interview questions, saying, like, what are you into, to find out more about the player. He talked about how he's into NFTs, and that was labeled a red flag. That's how early we are right now, because people say NFTs, oh, he's a little, weird, outside the box. That's how early we are in history right now. The same way, if you said you were, just think about 10 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that. The whole transformation of physical music into digital music streaming, that was looked at as maybe the next fad, the next big fad, right? People didn't think digital music streaming was going to last. The whole Wild Wild West era happened with the whole LimeWire, Napster, illegal downloading. They had some good songs on those platforms, but they had absolutely everything, right? It got regulated and turned into premium licensed digital music streaming. I truly believe that's eventually where we'll get in the whole NFT space. Like it or not, I do believe crypto and NFTs will get regulated one day. And then these platforms like OpenSea and these other platforms that have everything, shout out to OpenSea because they were a pioneer in the space. They have some great stuff for independent artists and projects like that, but they just have absolutely everything. I look at it just like how Napster, LimeWire, they had absolutely everything. Right now, you could make a picture of Batman and mint it and post it on there, and probably nothing would happen. Eventually, I do believe it'll get regulated, and that'll transition into premium licensed digital collectibles. Digital collecting will be the new trend word. I truly believe that. So right now, we're just in the space. It's still early. It's still looked at as like, is it going to last? People assume, absolutely, big sum. This was a huge moment in time where people think Bitcoin and they automatically assume, no, I don't want to be part of that scam. I don't want to be part of they just assume that. And that's kind of what's happening with NFTs right now. People assume, just walking down the street, your average person, they hear somebody talking about NFTs. They immediately think, oh, some random scam or some random expensive animal picture, because that's all they equate it to. The same way people used to equate Bitcoin, not the technology, foundation, what it does, but they just equate it to what's happening at the moment. they think I don't even want to say it because I don't want to get the YouTube channel banned or anything like that disabled. But absolutely, Big Some stuff like that. That's why even Akomi, when Akomi first went in 2016, 2017 to a lot of these brands to talk to them about digital collecting, NFTs, the blockchain, as soon as they mentioned blockchain, a lot of these brands got them out of the meeting room and said, we can't be part of that blockchain scam, you know? And that's exactly kind of how we're at right now. I truly believe. I could be wrong, you know, absolutely. These are just my opinions at the end of the day, not financial advice. But I truly believe we're just in that wild, wild west era of NFTs before digital collecting becomes mainstream, the norm, the standard. And I always say, I saw a tweet the other day, someone said, yeah, but we're still 15, 20 years away from that. And no one knows the time frame. It could be 20 years, right? It could be 10 years from now. I don't know the exact time frame when digital collecting will become the norm, be understood by the masses. But I always say this, would you rather be 20 years late? Or would you rather be 20 years early to something on the ground floor of the next revolutionary shift? Now, it could not be, you know, maybe if you're under the belief that we're not going to go more into the digital world, then yeah, maybe we don't get into digital collecting. But if you're under the belief that as a whole, society is transitioning into more of the digital world, then I think digital collecting becomes the obvious new shift in technology. Phone's going crazy. Oh, we got Reese. Shout out to Reese. I think Reese is responding to a lot of people right now. I am going to make sure my alarm is set. I don't think this drop's going to be, you know, crazy, crazy huge, but I don't want to miss a drop, you know. I didn't set my alarm today, so alarm set. I'm going to get some of these comments and I'm going to put back on the NFT Pirates video. This is my first interview ever. So it's just going to be fun to look back and see how much has changed and kind of see, you know, how much maybe hasn't changed. But I'm going to get to some comments and we're going to talk back about that. But again, I love going on that rant talking about how we're in the wild, wild west era of digital music streaming or digital collecting right now. Because I 100% believe it's just the same time period we're in. It feels so similar. Obviously, there's some differences. But I just remember how many people thought digital music streaming, like I want to physically touch a tangible CD or the record. Times change. And now, just like music, if I didn't have, you know, digital music, I may be able to carry around maybe 20, 30 of my favorite songs. Now, because of an iPhone, because of digital music streaming, we can hold millions and millions of songs. The big difference with that is that it was unlimited. Meaning that, you know, if Drake or your favorite artist put out, you know, a song, it's unlimited. Imagine if they did that with 1,000 editions or 100 editions, right? Then it would be like an NFT almost, right? And I think that's the difference in that whole transition. That was unlimited music. You could lease it for $9.99 and stream it. Now we get to ownership. Before, there was no way to prove ownership of something digital. Now, because of the blockchain, this is a new technology shift. Because of the blockchain, we can prove ownership of something digital for the first time in the history of the world. If you think about it like that, we are living in historic moments right now. That's why I always say it's hard to actually think you're in a historic moment when we're in the midst of it. But a few years from now, when all this kind of becomes the norm and, you know, everyday people understand, it's just digital collecting, digital items, I think that's when we start to see the world really adopt this. But it's go time. Shout out to Zombie Freak, still hitting them drops. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Working on the past couple weeks. Grinding. Shout out to Zombie Freak. I agree, Mike. This is a great point. I love getting to your comments because you guys hit the nail on the head. I just love hearing other people's thoughts. It makes me even expand my kind of ideas and expand my imagination of where this could go. Mike said, I think Disney parks, movie theaters, and restaurants, etc., will have VeVe zones where you can claim NFTs or do AR as part of the experience. I 100% agree with this, Mike. Just think about the kids going to Disney World, right? Also, I think what's going to be game-changing, I mean, that's going to be huge, right? But also, think of the pandemic that happened a couple years ago, right? 2020. Disney World lost a lot of money. Why? Because how many people couldn't travel now? And so I think that year was a game-changing year for Disney and a lot of these other huge brands because they're about making money at the end of the day, right? And they saw how much money they lost out on because people couldn't travel to Disney World. 30-minute tweet from VeVe, 30-minute warning. I got my alarm set for the 5-minute warning. We're good to go. But Disney World lost out on a lot of money because of travel, right? So they had to have thought, how can we prevent this in the future? If there was another pandemic, et cetera, something happened where people can't travel, how can we still make our money? Digital Disney World, digitally. So you have to imagine, and the CEO, I believe it was the CEO of Disney, came out and said they're working on metaverses behind the scenes. This is about a year ago. So I truly believe that when the Disney metaverse comes out, it's going to be their way to have the entire world come to Disney when they can't travel there physically. I think kids are going to be racing home, putting on their AR glasses if they're not already in school through their AR glasses. They're going to probably be coming home at first, putting on their AR glasses, VR glasses, going to Disney World at the homes. Just like you put on VR glasses now or the goggles now, I think they're going to slim down. And people are going to be experiencing Disney World at their homes. Same way I think sporting events. It's kind of happening already at a slow scale. You can watch basketball games at your house on TV or in VR. You can sit courtside and watch some of these basketball games like you're sitting there in courtside. And so I think as the technology gets better and that looks more and more realistic, people aren't going to want to go out there and travel all the time. People still will, the same way people still buy physical collectibles. People may like that even more. The same way people still like listening to physical CDs, physical collectibles, comics. But I think digital will open it up to the entire world. The ease of access is going to be crazy. And just imagine what's going to be inside the Disney metaverses, right? They're Disney digital collectibles, Disney digital experiences. Al Khan has talked about how we're going to be able to own things you've never been able to own before in the physical world. Experiences, live shows, performances. I can't wait until we have music live performances you can own. I will show one of my DMs to VeVe back in the day. One of the first days I found VeVe. I don't think I can show it right now. Probably won't be able to find it. But I asked him if I could have the first ever live performance as a digital collectible experience on VeVe. And this was like March 1st, March 2nd, 3rd, 2021. Obviously, I was naive to think like I could just have that. But it just goes to show you, that's where I was thinking about back then. And they definitely were thinking about that kind of stuff too. So that probably will just come out in the future, maybe a couple years from now. But what do you think will happen with their TODs now that DC is definitely not acknowledging VeVe as the first creator? Shout out to Kryptoni. Now, this is a big debate right now in the community, so I kind of want to just touch on this real quick. Now, I think Todd is going to be king. Now, there's going to be other DC collectibles that'll probably do great too. But, I mean, DC, the whole debate right now, if anyone's unfamiliar with this, is that when you Google first DC NFT, I think it's Palm that comes up as like their first NFTs. And that's just a false statement. I mean, Reese has said before in the interview, I think it was with Taps, that we're going to see multiple brands come out, multiple companies come out in the future and claim the first, even if it's untrue. Why? Because it's a marketing technique. Now people like you and I are going to be debating publicly which is the first, when we all know which really is the first and which one's true and which one's untrue. So it's just a way for that market or for that brand, company, platform to get more exposure. And it's something to where the Comey team has came out and said they could go after him, but I think it's too early just yet. Meaning, we want as many people to get into digital collecting as possible. I think in the future, stuff like that will get ironed out, and to where I think in the future, when you Google it, it will show up the real answer eventually. But I think that's the debate right now, because when you Google Marvel's first NFT, it pops up. There's a clear distinction that VeVe has Marvel's first NFT, and it's Spiderman. And I think that is important. I think long term, people are going to find out the truth. And I think in long term in the future, I think VeVe and DC will make it clear. Now, there's also different companies in DC, meaning there's DC Comics, there's DC Direct, and we do have the first ever DC NFT, which is from DC Direct, which is still DC, which is still Warner Brothers, I believe. It's the first ever Batman, first appearance of Batman digitally, first ever VeVe NFT, and the first time DC ever got into the digital collecting industry as an NFT. It's like the Triple Crown winner, in my opinion. You guys may see my Todd up for sale actually in the market right now. It's my third Todd. And my whole game plan with this one is I'm not trying to scare anybody with my Todd listed for sale. I think it's at like 5.5, 5.4K. And you see my Todd listed a lot, actually. It's the 1,600 mint. And my whole game plan with this one, just to let people know, is once it does sell, I'll buy back the floor and then pocket about $1,000, probably a little bit less, maybe like 800 after the fees and all. But that's just my way of profiting a little bit. Sometimes you'll see me, buy up, pay a little bit more money for a low mint. Sometimes I'll do the exact opposite. And for me, since I already have 2 other Todds in the 1,000 mint, I thought, I don't need the third one in the 1,000 mint. I'd rather profit some gems off of that one. So that's just my game plan, in case anybody wanted to know. But yeah, Kryptoni, I don't think it's going to be a big issue long term. I do want to see DC come out and publicly acknowledge it publicly eventually. But for the time being, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's just a way of Palm trying to get more exposure. I know Kyle Wilson has said it's like a PR stunt. So shout out to Kyle. He understands that too. I think long term, Todd's going to be Todd. It's the first ever Batman. It's the first ever DC NFT. It's the first ever VeVe NFT. I truly believe it's going to be huge one day. It may take until VeVe becomes that household name, though. Went to a comic book store the other day and mentioned digital collecting, and the guy said, yeah, glad you came in to here to get something you can own. Wow. See, that's what I mean. Chasing Sunday is unbelievable. There are so many people who want to try to make fun of it, try to, pull you down to try to make themselves feel better because they're uneducated. That's the problem. When you tell someone they're uneducated about something, they get defensive instead of saying, wow, I am uneducated about this. Let me dive deeper and let me learn about it. Because people have egos at the end of the day. And when you say, someone's uneducated about something, it hurts their ego. Sometimes it's the truth. But absolutely Chasing Sundays. That's why I love Elite Comics 11, because coming from a physical comic world, it would have been so easy for him to do the same thing. Make fun of it, not believe in it, try to pull people down who, are into it just because they don't understand it. But he didn't. He got on the ground floor, whether he understood it or not, he got educated about it. He started to really understand it. And it grew on him. He adapted it, he adopted it, adapted to the new situation. And he understands that it's promoting physical comics. That person in the comics book store will learn Chasing Sundays. I'm sure you probably told him too. The only reason why you're in here is because of the digital stuff. Like, once those people start to understand, the only reason why we're in here is because of the digital stuff on VeVe or the digital NFT on this platform or that platform. That's when they start to think about like, maybe it's not so bad. A lot of times these people are defensive too because they think it's going to hurt their business. They think it's going to run them out. Digital is going to take over and their physical won't be worth anymore. So a lot of it comes from ego and being defensive, I think. But that's why I love people like Elite Comics, because it takes someone from that physical world to get involved in it, to, dive deep, not have an ego, and really start to understand this new space because he's benefiting from it. He's capitalizing on the moment. He understands people like me would have never bought a comic book, but I came to him and bought my comic book because of the digital. So I like you said, Chasing Sundays, I think we're still early in this. Just like I talked about how there's an NFL draft player, NFL player getting drafted, talking about how he's in the NFTs, and that was a red flag for people. It's laughable because we're kind of living in the future. All of us here is probably tuned in. I'm sure there's some people who are tuned in who still are kind of on the fence of NFTs, but most of us, especially in chat, we understand where this is going. We're so involved heavily in the micro, in the midst of everything. It feels like the whole world should understand this by now, right? It feels like it's not early anymore. But that's when you have to kind of zoom out, take yourself out of the micro of everything. Maybe talk to some people, average people in the world, like Chasing Sunday said, comic book store collectors or owners. Hear what people from the real world have to say about it. And once you start to hear their opinions and their thoughts, then you start realizing, wow, we are so early to this. And I see that as a blessing. Like I said, would you rather be 10 years late to something or 10 years early to something and things may not be perfect, ups and downs, but you're on the ground floor of what's eventually, if it does work out the way you think, the way I think, the masses, the entire world will adopt digital collecting the same way they adopt digital music streaming now. Now, when you think of a new song, you think of Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. These are the biggest brands in the entire world. Disney, Marvel, DC, Coca-Cola. The whole perception of an NFT will change, I believe, over time. Like I said, if you go to the comic store collector right now or the comic store owner in the physical world, unless they're elite comics, right? They're going to probably laugh at your NFT and talk about how NFTs are a fad. They're just worthless animal pictures. They can't understand or don't realize yet that they can be digital collectibles from the biggest brands in the world, ones that you probably love already. That is the biggest shift right now. People don't think of NFTs that way. And once they start thinking of NFTs that way, they start to get into it. Like my dad. Shout out to my dad. He watches the videos sometimes. He was never really into the digital world. Cell phones, digital discs, computers, NFTs, wasn't really understanding that concept or how it could be valuable. I think Lone Rider, someone needs to tell me the video or the movie that this is in. The Captain America Harley Davidson bike. I thought it was Knight Rider at first, but it's not Knight Rider. It's another similar sounding movie. But he loves the Harley Davidson, a motorcycle bike in that. And he said to me one day, that should be an NFT. And it blew my mind because I was like, yes, that's what it takes. It takes people something that they're interested in, and then they start to understand the concept. Before, he probably thought NFTs were just random pictures, right? Now he knows that he could own that bicycle or own that Harley Davidson digitally if he had a cell phone. So I think it just takes like something that people are into and interested in to really understand. We are so early in the NFT space that I can sell my own NFT project on the same website, OpenSea, that DC, Marvel, and other giant IP NFTs will be sold. That's a fact, Kelvin. Absolutely. And that's what I mean. I think this whole space will kind of get regulated, whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, we like it or not. Same way LimeWire got regulated, Napster got regulated. And I say it's similar because when you think about it, they had real music on there. They had some good stuff on there, but they also had some bad stuff, right? They had absolutely everything. And what is that similar to today? I think it's similar to these other platforms out there, that they do have some great stuff on there. They do have some great artists on there, right? Frank Kozik, Jermaine Rogers, they're on there, right? Other amazing artists, Kelvin's on there, right? And so I think they have some great stuff on there from some independent artists, great projects on there. But the problem is they have absolutely everything, some bad stuff on there too. And so I think that will start to get regulated, whether that comes from the Disney lawyers or whatever the case is, the government, whoever regulates it, right? But I think that'll be the start of the transition into digital collecting from your favorite brands. And so I think it's a good thing that we're all early to this. Silver Surfer covers are awesome, JD. I agree, Hamoon. I was looking at some of them. And that is the first one I do believe that we're going to see on the VeVe app. So that's kind of cool. I know it's not like a holy grail, but I think the covers look cool. And I think the fans of it probably will be interested in it. So, yes, absolutely. Kids are already in the metaverses. And I think the younger generation understands this technology more because they're used to video games. Fortnite skins, Call of Duty skins, right? The different gun skins you can get on those games, the character skins. Like, the only difference with that is how you didn't own it. You almost like leased it for that metaverse. Like, I remember when Call of Duty Warzone first came out, season 1, I bought one of the skins on there. And so me thinking back to all of this, me buying this skin, I'm not even a big gamer, right? But I was like, wow, if I did that, what are these hardcore gamers? They're buying it like crazy, right? And so same thing I think is going to happen with digital collectibles. There's going to be people who are hardcore collectors. There's going to be your average person who just collects things that they like. There's going to be flippers. There's going to be all types of people involved. And so I think the younger generation really starts to understand this technology probably a little bit more because of the games involved and stuff like that. Roblox, absolutely. V-Bucks, Call of Duty points, right? Fortnite, I forget what the Fortnite stuff is called. That's a fact, though. Absolutely. If we ignore that, we deserve to be, bro. And the other thing, too, like we're in metaverses. We just don't even really realize it. Like right now, I've been saying the last couple live streams, we're all right now in the YouTube metaverse. It's just not immersive. It's not virtual reality just yet. When we're all on Twitter, we're in the Twitter metaverse. It's just not virtual reality immersive yet. Same thing with the Twitter Spaces. When you're in those, you're in that metaverse. Instagram, you're in the Instagram metaverse. It's just not immersive. And so that's where the whole metaverse is coming. It's just, we've already had metaverses. They were just 2D platforms. Now going into that Web3, it's becoming a lot more immersive. And I think with augmented reality technology, with virtual reality technology, it's just going that way more and more and more. Whether that's good or bad, that's like a whole nother debate. But the fact that it's happening is what I think you have to be aware of. And sometimes some people don't want it to happen so bad they refuse to believe it's happening. And that I feel like could be an issue for some people. Good morning, VeVe Heads. How we doing, fam? Is VeVe coming out with a new drop system in a week? I believe it should be out in a little bit. I don't want to say a week because, I don't want to put time frames on them. But I do think that a new drop system should be around the corner. That's my new word. I'm going to say around the corner. Or just a little bit instead of saying soon, because I know you guys will go crazy if I say soon. Hamoud said AR Apple glasses will change everything. I agree. We've been hearing teasers about when the Apple AR glasses are coming out. I think they're just trying to perfect it. I think they realize what's happening. They will replace the iPhone. I agree. And you know why I agree with this? Is because the AR technology is going to be so good. Your phone will be AR. Like, that's insane to think about, right? I thought this technology was going to happen a lot sooner. I remember having literally arguments with people I grew up with in 2012. Maybe it was 2011. It was my first year in college. I was over their houses telling them about how one day you're not going to have a cell phone. I forget how we started the argument, but I was saying one day you're not even going to have a cell phone, man. You're going to be looking through glasses and they're going to be augmented reality down at your hand, and you're going to be on your cell phone without having a cell phone. They just looked at me like I was crazy. They said, Johnny, I always had a cell phone. I'm always going to have one. I just laughed. I was like, that's just a false statement. Like, you didn't always have one. That's how much it became the norm already. Before 2008, none of my friends had cell phones. 2008, I was a freshman in high school. Nobody had cell phones. That was when we first all started getting cell phones. So from 2008 to 2012, people already just assumed that they always had a cell phone. It's like, no, you didn't. You went through most of your life at this point without one. Now you've had one and you've became that addicted to it for a few years. It's felt like you've always had one and you wouldn't imagine one without one. That's because it became the norm. When you first got one, is it a fad? Everything starts out, people question if it's going to last, right? Cell phones became the standard, became norm. And I was saying that I thought maybe in 4 years, I said by like 2015, AR is going to be so good. You're just going to look down at your hand and be on your cell phone. I was looked at like I was crazy. Maybe I was crazy because I was a little bit too soon. I didn't realize it was going to take until 2022. So I was a whole decade. I was literally a decade too early, which is kind of crazy to think about. So I guess I was crazy back then because I was a whole decade too early. It just seemed like a logical transition. And once AR glasses do take off and they are out, it's only going to take maybe 3 years. I say 3 to 4 years of AR glasses becoming like widely out before that becomes norm. And then cell phones start to, there's people are still always going to have cell phones the same way people still have physical collectibles. But the majority of people, I think, it's going to become the norm. That AR glasses, AR cell phones, boom, all right, get rid of it, press a button, it's gone. Whether that's good or bad, that could be a whole nother discussion. But I think that's just the evolutionary transition. And then 5 years of that, people are going to be like, I always had AR glasses. It's like, no, you didn't. There'll probably be something after that. Maybe that's when, the whole Elon Musk, what's the chip called? What's the chip called? Someone put it in the chat real quick. I'm really behind on the chats, but someone has to know what I'm talking about. That's probably going to be the next one, maybe in like 15, 20 years from now. Cell phones, the microchips, or cell phones, the AR glasses, the microchips. I may be a little bit hesitant on the whole microchip, but who knows what's going to happen. I agree. Interoperability is going to be huge. Hitting buy now, summer 2022. Hey, Johnny, just curious, are you into HRO or any other projects as well? I'm not really into any other projects, Mike. I think HRO is great. I think it'll do well. I'm not into it personally. I know there's a lot of VeVe fam over there collecting the HRO cards, so I hope it does well for everybody. I think it has a good possibility of doing well. I think it will over time. I bought some other NFTs on some other projects just to kind of like try it out and trying to just see what they got, just to try to like test some things out. Because that's the thing too. I want to try everything. There's a point in time where I was on OpenSea just looking at different projects, hopping in Discords just to try to feel it out. Also because a lot of people were out there trying to paint a narrative. Because I love VeVe so much and I think VeVe's number one. It's so easy for people out there just say, oh, Johnny's all in on VeVe, so he just hates every other project. It's like that's not the case at all if you really actually got educated and know me. Like there was times where I was in Discords, not even in projects that I was involved in or even bought an NFT, and just to show love to their project. I met a lot of different people that way. Shout out to Ricky Williams. He's one of my favorite athletes in the world. Not even just NFL players, but he's one person who I met and got to talk to and really got to know through some of these projects. And I just sent out to Ricky my Ricky Williams jersey, authentic Pro Bowl Miami Dolphins jersey. And so hopefully, I'm not sure if he's watching this or not, but I think it should have just shipped to him maybe yesterday or today. So hoping he gets that, signs it, gonna hang it up on my wall down here. So that's just a narrative people like to paint. Just because I'm all in on VeVe, I love VeVe the most. It's so easy to paint that narrative. He just talks about VeVe because he's all in. But little do they know, I was saying how VeVe's the future before I even put $1 into VeVe. That's as unbiased as you can get. So, I always test out new projects just to see if I like them, what I don't like about them, see how they can do. But right now, I just like VeVe the most. If I do find other projects that interest me, I probably will, maybe grab some NFTs from there. Like even DraftKings, when Tiger Woods came out, I thought I would be into that, but I really just wasn't even into the Tiger Woods NFTs on DraftKings. I tried some of their NFTs. I think I got a Derek Jeter one early on, but even stuff like that, it just doesn't interest me as much. I want to see a digital collectible that looks like real. For Tiger Woods NFT, I want to see it dropped in augmented reality with an animation in his red polo. Like that's what I want. That's the Tiger Woods NFT that would really interest me. So if VeVe's watching and they're not sure if they should get the PGA license or not, we should get the PGA license. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the stuff that we'll see happening. Absolutely, Sirios. I'm out in nature. I'm out here in nature, and I'm feeling wonderful. No sniffles. I definitely have the sniffles right now, Green Goblin. I'm trying to hold it back, but it's getting pretty bad right now. Also, when my boy comes over tomorrow, my guy Tyler Gear, I'm going to see if the air quality down here messes with him at all. He may be on like half hour and be like, all right, dude, I got to get off. We'll see what happens. Maybe he doesn't have an issue. Maybe it's just me. I think it'll be April, May. End of April. I think they said end of April, maybe May. 5-minute warning. I am going to go for this drop. Just for the suspense for you guys on the stream. Now, I don't think this is a holy grail type comic. I don't think it's going to do amazing numbers right away in the marketplace. I think maybe the only one might be worth flipping is maybe the secret rare. NFTs, how we doing, fam? AKA Soon around the corner. Oh man, December. I can't get to sleep. Around the corner is the new suit. December, if you do go for the drop, I hope you get some good secret rare. I mean, if you're feeling it, you might as well at this point. You got a couple minutes. Just checked your wallet address. 5 payments from VeVe totaling $2.5 million. I wish. I wish, crypto superhero. Find out I'm actually paid by the team. That'd be hilarious. No, I wish I got paid $2.5 million for all the marketing campaign. Maybe one day, but not yet, crypto superhero. Not yet. I hope soon. When I was a kid, we had phone booths, not cell phones. Absolutely, Frank. And I bet people, when cell phones first came out, that was looked at as like the next fad, right? People weren't sure if that was going to be a real thing. And then they transitioned from big, bulky cell phones to sleek, frictionless iPhones. That's what I think is happening with the VR goggles right now. How did they start out? Huge, clunky, bulky goggles. I think eventually they're going to be frictionless, sleek AR, VR glasses. Yeah, the Ray-Ban smart glasses. Yup. We got 2 minutes to the drop. Maybe this is what I was thinking of then, Kelvin. The Ray-Ban Stories smart glasses. Wow. So what's the technology with these? Are these actual? Wow, Ray-Ban and Meta. Yup. Oh my gosh. It's all happening. It really is. Neuralink. That's what I was thinking of. I couldn't think of Neuralink. That would be insane, Chasing Sundays. I know a lot of people would probably be against this. I would probably be against trying this at first. But I think Joe Rogan has said this before with Neuralink. It's only going to take a handful of people to try it. And if they have a huge advantage, the rest of the world will do it. So it's just, Neuralink. Yo, biochip. It was Neuralink. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Wow. Prayergate, secret rare comic, then Jafar, and now Simone Biles is going to get another secret rare comic. I hope you do. We got a minute, 8 seconds left to the drop. Dun thumbs. Let's go. Using a MetaMask wallet is aggravating compared to a credit card. I agree. And that's why VeVe set up to have the masses. All right. Shout out to the Coffee Gators out there. I know this won't be like a 0.1 second sellout. But let's hope for a secret rare. This would be my first secret rare comic ever. So because of that, I'm recording this one. Good luck, fam. I'm going to get to some more comments. It's crazy. Like my hands still sweat. And again, for this drop, you don't have to do the whole 3, 2, 1 thing to time it perfect. I'm going to guess you don't have to do that. You could probably react to it and be just fine. I'm gonna react to it. No, I'm not. I'm gonna still try to time it perfect. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Bye now. Got it. Like, I just like trying to be perfect timing. Let's see what I'm gonna stay on just for one. I'm only gonna do one drop. Let's see what the mint number is. I'm gonna guess it's 6,432. If that's even close, that'd be insane. Or I'm feeling like a 6,000 or a 13,000 mint number. I don't know why. If that's even remotely close. Wow, 14,000. Okay. 13,000, 14,000. Kind of close. That definitely looks like a secret rare number, doesn't it? Talk gate. And it's sold out. See, this is such a great sign that they're still selling out very quickly. That's a great sign if you ask me. Tiger Gate. I like that one. Good luck. Let's go, secret rare. JD time check. Appreciate that, December. Wow, you forgot your coffee energy. That was secret rare. Dub, season 3 OG got. Wow, I got 3. I think 3 might have been the most to get. Good morning, Jabe. Wow, Simone did give 4. Did anybody beat 4? About 3. You got 3 chances, December. I like your chances on this one. 10-6-6-3. This looks like a secret rare number 2. Could we get 2 secret rares for both Johnnies today? Let's go. Oh, Hamon cheated today. 2 phones. 6 of them using quick gate. Captures are always hard. K Walker got 4. Assassin got 4. So 4 has been the most. Punch got 2. Let's go. Sleeping Comics got 1. That's what I'm talking about. Sleeping in the building. We got another legend in the building today. Shout out to Sleeping Comics. Again, guys, if you guys aren't following Sleeping, I don't know what you guys are doing. You guys are slacking. Just got the new hat on too, looking fresh. I know, Sleeping, we need one of these over here. So put me down for an order. Gonna just stick with 1 on this one. Gems are getting low. Yeah, not a bad idea. We got so many drops in the future, guys. I don't think it's a bad idea to kind of just stack the gems right now. Oh, man. Probably going to only be on for like another half hour, 45 minutes today. Probably just going to finish up this NFT Pirates video right now. Lucky today. Cool looking mint number right now. Again, guys, this video that we're about to watch is an old school video. Oh, man, JT just missed the drop. I'm surprised it sold out in less than a minute. Wow, Josh B got 695. That's a good mint number. Absolutely. Had to see the OG legend. Sleeping, you're a legend too, my man. I haven't read any of the comics either, December. Flipping comics into collectibles. Yeah, glad to see Sleeping's back, making some content. Sleeping, have you been reading any of the comic books you've been getting? Or have you been just collecting them? Definitely interested in hearing people's thoughts on this one. Because I know you're a comic guy. I want to see if you're actually reading these. Or if you're just kind of collecting them. Because I haven't read one of them yet. I'm kind of worried if, like, I read it, is that green check going to matter in the future? I know they said, it isn't. But again, a lot of these comics weren't even meant to collect, I think, right in the beginning. They were meant to read, and then they became collectibles. So I'm using that kind of as my gauge, making sure I don't read too many of these, especially the more important ones. Hey, saving up for Silver Surfer Black. Solid. Simone crushing the rebounds. Manifest Gate. Ah, smart idea, Sleeping. Smart idea. I don't read them in the app. I use Marvel Unlimited, and I've already read many of them. Solid move. Yeah, it's a good idea to read those comics on that app. It's a good way to actually. It's kind of like renting them, right? You're kind of leasing them, so you can actually read them and everything. You just don't have that ownership. Keeping that ownership for the VeVe comics. I like it. I like it. All right, guys, we're gonna dive into this video. This is from June 6th, 2021. Again, we kind of watched the first 39 minutes on a video a while back. So it's kind of a separated, part 1 and 2 of this one. If you guys want to check it out, it's on NFT Pirates YouTube channel way back in the day. He's one of Dan Crowther's favorite VeVe supporters. Let's go. But we're going to just tune in the rest of this video. And I think this is right where we left off, 39 minutes. Not positive, but I think so. But we're going to dive into it, see what's changed, what hasn't changed on VeVe. It's always kind of fun to go over these things while we wait for the marketplace to open back up.
Like, we went, like, almost just doing the reviews. And then I was like, man, let me just, like, open this up a little more. Like, and it feels good. Like, and I'm like, now even thinking about, like, a little bit more about the coin. Because I was big into crypto for, like, 3 years. But the thing is, like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, like, everyone's like, that's the one thing about this community is, like, I haven't seen anybody try to squash anyone else. Everyone's just lifting each other up. It's like, literally, like,
bro, you're so right. And that energy right there, ages. And being someone early, I felt like I had basically I had a choice. Like, I could be the one to be like, oh no, tear everybody down, or I could be like, no, this is actually an opportunity right now to where I'm early, and I can people to keep lifting everybody else up and continue this contagious positive energy, because that's what's really going to grow the community, man. I know as playing college baseball and everything, I was the motivator type guy to where I was trying to take the spot of the third baseman, the shortstop, the second baseman spot in a competitive, good way. I wanted the best for them. I just wanted to be better. So, like, every day in practice, trying to take their heads off. But it made them even better. And I didn't get the spot until, like, 2 years later. And our coach was like, dude, Dunn, keep doing what you're doing because you're making them, like, on their toes. They're grinding. It made our team a hell of a team, man. Our team was amazing. And I felt like because of that, I was, like, pushing everybody to just be better and better and better. Not like, I want you to do bad so I can do better. I want you to do great. I just want to keep great, too. Like, if you do great, it's going to make me do great. Like, everybody just pushes everybody, and it's going to make me oh, bro. Like,
you're right, man. It's like the Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi battle. Like, I'm sure if one of those guys was taken out of the equation, the other one would have slowed down. Like, it's just like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I feel like, and that's exactly what you see in the community right now. Nobody's stepping on anybody's toes or anything like that. Everybody's got their own lane. Everybody's got their own little niche, and we're all supporting each other. It really, truly is a positive, contagious energy. I mean, all energy is contagious. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with positive people, because when people are negative around you, it's mentally draining, and then you start feeling negative. So it's so important to keep that circle of positive energy because it's contagious, and we're all uplifting everybody else. It's like Sleeping Comics. Sleeping Comics is in the building. He's not trying to pull down Sean and Spencer and Comics and Crypto. They're both promoting each other. They both want everybody to do great. And that's how all the VeVe content creators are, I feel like. Everybody's just uplifting everybody else and promoting them. And
I see VeVe being such an early monster to where, yeah, you see all these other dog coins blowing up, and it's like cool, but like they're crossing their T's, dotting their I's, building the foundation to where when they feel it's time, see you later.
Rocket ship. Yeah. You're right, man. Hold on to your seat, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going somewhere. Yeah, and one day I feel like you're right, man. We'll just be sitting, chilling, talking about collectibles. All of a sudden you look at your Omi coin, you're like, what?
Right. I talk about the token because people want to hear people's advice, not advice, but like opinions. Like, just be you on it. Like, open your channel to anything that you want to talk about because people are interested in you. And so if one day you want to talk about the token, don't feel like it's off brand because it's you at the end of the day. So tell people your thoughts on it, and people will tune in. They'll know that it's your opinion, but if they people value your opinion, basically, is what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And the hardest part, like, and you and I keep talking about this, is like, it's all speculation as to where this could go. But like I think like there, people that attempt to put in a bit of a speculative analysis, it's important because like people want to be able to have those predictions, see what 3 to 5 years looks like. You know what I mean? Like
It's
I
hard
just
to see that sometimes, and
yeah.
even I get caught up in just looking day to day, not at the token, but just like at VeVe itself. And maybe I'm looking at like the marketplace price, but people will mention like VeVe Flipper again. He keeps mentioning this part, and which I think it's just he nails it on the head. He talks about people having pets. People, and it made me start thinking like, okay, well, people are gonna have their pets. Absolutely, people are gonna want their favorite movie playing. Like when I'm playing, when I have my house, I want to want maybe my favorite movie playing. So when Chad comes over, he gets to see the whole movie in my showroom, like
right,
music playing.
That right there is game changing. I truly believe that's going to happen one day. Again, this is in June 2021, before movies or anything was even considered dropping. I think before we even had comic books on VeVe. But I just vision a showroom like your actual house. Like when you have your friends over, maybe put on a movie, play some music, whatever the case is. I think that's exactly how our digital showrooms are going to be on VeVe. It's going to be like a multiplayer to where, drops happening. All right, let's go to Johnny's showroom, see what he's got on the TV today. Maybe he's watching ESPN because why? Disney owns ESPN. So maybe it's like highlights of ESPN clips of the playoff basketball games going on. Like my mind's racing with different possibilities that could probably come to VeVe one day.
All that stuff. So once people start saying stuff, like Todd Father brought this up, bro. Todd Father's my boy, right? Shout out to the Todd Father.
He's cool, bro. I like his style.
Shout out to Crypto Khaki.
Too, right?
Super knowledgeable. He's an OG, man. He gives great. He talked about having like a little avatar, right? About like instead of like a first person view going in your showroom, having like you get to see your little avatar go around, maybe sit on the couch. And he brought that up in the Discord, and they said it would just have to match the field because these are premium collectibles. They don't want like a Minecraft looking character in there, so they have to match that. But when they do, we call it like your Ikomi homie. So your Ikomi homie is just walking around your little show, and like that's your.
Didn't even know I said that back then.
And maybe you can customize it. If you have a higher master collector rank, you get more accessories on your Ikomi homie. So like
you're like 6'5" in the VeVe verse. You're like, I want to look a little taller. Like
right. But the Omi backpack, and so you get the Omi backpack on you. Like they don't even have to get brands for that. They can kind of make their own brand, like with the apparel and stuff like that.
Bro, that's super smart, and man, even like think of like kind of tagging on.
And now we do know that they're gonna probably eventually launch their own branded.
And like I even think about like the ultra rare DeLorean, like the first ever car, and it's like okay, there's 12,500 editions, but in the VeVe verse, like if this is this, pretty much the world condensed into this digital format, like that's not many cars,
Exactly, and that's where people get caught up. I understand there's like a lot of concern about how like many editions there are, right? But
yeah,
but that's just for like the short-term thinker. Like they want it to be less than 100 every drop, so they can get in and flip it, get in
right,
and make the money. And it's like, or just know that it's worth that much.
And that's the thing, right? We see all the time that people say they only want to drop the grails, or they only want to drop one of ones or one of 100s, and it's like, yeah, that's great for the people that can afford it. Like I would love to have that and only have that dropped, right? But what about your average user? This is going to be for the masses, tens of millions of people. So I think they're going to do a great job at constantly changing it. Maybe Monday is a 1 of 100 grail drop. Tuesday, unimportant comic book, 70,000 editions for people. Maybe Wednesday's another collectible drop for everybody. Thursday is a huge, maybe 1 of 1 artwork. Friday, something else. Saturday, huge drop. Disney, so I think they're going to have everything.
Phone plan by Google. Get Simply Unlimited, our most affordable unlimited plan with 35.
They will drop those collectibles, like the Ron English one, 100 collectibles. That's not going to be a mass market. That's going to be for your collectors.
We haven't even seen the Ron English 1 of 100 drop yet.
But they're a mass market app, so they have to balance it. Some weeks it's going to be your 100,000 edition new car after the DeLorean for mass market new users because they got to get a collectible.
Right.
The same, like I remember David talked about this in the one YouTube video, I think it was, or maybe not YouTube, maybe it was Discord. I think it was YouTube. Supreme. He's a big Supreme fan. And when you go to Supreme store, they have their exclusive drops where maybe only so many are not minted, but like are out there. So you can only get a limited amount, say 100 exclusive items. And then once they sell out, they got the whole store of inventory that you can go in and buy stuff from. So it's not they sell out of the exclusive item and then their whole store is out of stock. You can't buy it. They have the inventory there, and that's kind of the way VeVe's treating it. Like, you're going to have the Ron English piece, boom, that's going to sell out. But then 3 days later that week, they may have the mass market huge edition drop that your collectors may not like, but your new users and kids are going to love. And that's just going to make more users adopt the app.
Exactly.
The things where I have more trust and faith in what Dave is doing than these people who have concerns.
That's the thing at the end of the day. It's like you got a whole team that's done this for 25 years. I know what they're talking about. And bro, when I think about it too, it's like we had that whole first wave, right? That came
like that was a huge point right there because so many people thought they knew more than the Comey team. So many people told me they don't know what they're doing. Too many editions dropping for the DeLorean, ruined the VeVe app. They left, and then Marvel got announced. And we're going to have Marvel comic books. And then those people jump right back onto the VeVe app. So it's like.
And, I came in on March 9th, so 6 days after you. But, like, the guys that came in like, January were saying, like, when they saw 7,500 editions of Todd, they thought, no way will this ever be sold out. And it did, and it came on like wildfire. And we're in the same. Now we're approaching the second wave. Like, we're all being like.
The second wave. And this is the part that most people don't talk about. Because everybody looks at, the OGs and saying like, oh, yeah, the market's down, but you guys are still up because you came here first, etc. It's like, we weren't always up. A lot of us are up because we held through the second wave. Meaning, let me just put things in perspective. October of 2020, the Todd McFarlane Batman dropped. It was a private launch for VeVe. There's only maybe 100 people in the app. So from November, December, January 1st, 2021 was when they launched publicly. From January, at the end of January, I think they had 5,000 total users on the app. There is still over 6,000 Todd Batmans for sale for retail in stock. Then end of February, March 1st, they had just under 10,000 users still. And there were still 6,000 Todds in stock for retail price. And so that first wave was up until then, and then everything sold out right away in March. That whole month of March is when things caught fire. By the end of March, 180,000 users. Insane. And we went all-time highs. Omi hit a penny. Then we came crashing down. Market, Omi, crashed down, right? And then for months, a lot of people left. So much FUD. So much negativity, questions, concerns. These aren't real NFTs, right? We kept collecting. That's when I went harder. That's when I went all in right there because I just saw what this was going to be. And so this is the part where people don't realize because of all-time highs in January, a lot of people unfortunately bought at those prices in January, February, right? Comes crashing down from all-time highs. We're now retraced a big amount from them. And that's when a lot of people are saying, yo, you guys are still up, but you only are up because you came here first. It's like, we're only up because we held through the downtimes. This right here is another downtime. Things weren't booming. This is after they boomed, then we came back down. And so that's like the second wave. We've probably had a third wave. This is like the fourth wave. Things are low. We just had a huge retracement, a lot of FUD, negativity. I think a lot of you guys saw the tweet I posted a little bit ago yesterday about how the prices in, I think it was June or July, Superman was just a couple $100. Todd was $400, right? So we held through these times, accumulated more.
This will never sell out. Then all of a sudden, 2-3 million users come in, and we're like, holy crap! Like, good thing I bought that other Mermicorno for 20 gems.
Right.
Actually, bro, there was a guy, I forget his username. I want to say Put in Cheeks or something like that.
Put in Cheeks.
Oh, okay, yeah. OG, bro. OG. So
yeah,
exactly. Shout
out Put in Cheeks.
Shout out to him, man. He really, because when these people talk, they may not even feel like they have an important voice, but they do. Their whole speaking, like anything they say is gonna be valuable because new users see that and they say, oh, wow, okay. They were here when things didn't seem valuable. And they witnessed that phase go. I witnessed 6,000 Todds in the store just chilling. No one wanted them.
That's why it's so important for OGs to speak up now, to let new users know that maybe have concerns, that maybe are afraid, or, you know, market just retraced a big amount. Have we lost momentum, etc.? It's like we've seen this time after time after time again. You know, multiple phases of this, multiple times of this. I mean, if people want to get out, they can get out. What we've seen before is those people try to rush back in as soon as things start taking off.
Yeah. I'm buying a couple. I'm like, why aren't these selling? Maybe they aren't that important. Like, it's confusing people because we're all like psychology type people. Everything's psychology, right? Yeah. So,
Where are you from?
Shout Miss Rose with the 4,000 mint. Let's go.
My parents are from Mali.
Feels like a secret rare.
I went to.
It even messed with people like me. I bought a couple and I'm like, they're not moving. And then all of a sudden they start flying. You could just see them like 10 gone. I'm like, okay, buy a couple more. I had 6. I think I had 8 total. And so you just saw them just sell out instantly after that. So like you said, we're in this little like second or third phase where things are just kind of chilling right now because it's supply and demand. We're not advertising the marketing to bring in an extra 300,000 users yet. But when we do, we're going to have to see the same thing happen. And then a little bit of time will go, and then we'll be consolidating a little bit more.
Wow, I think I just literally predicted the last run-up and then how we retrace.
And so you just saw them just sell out instantly after that. So like you said, we're in this little like second or third phase where things are just kind of chilling right now because it's supply and demand. We're not advertising the marketing to bring in an extra 300,000 users yet. But when we do, we're going to have to see the same thing happen. And a little bit of time will go, and then we'll be consolidating a little bit more.
Oh, man, I was
literally just predicted what was going to happen. Once we start seeing them advertising gain to 300,000 users, huge run-up. Disney tweeted in November about VeVe. We gained 300,000 users from that. Huge run-up. And then another retracement, consolidation period. And literally, I'm going to clip this and post it on Twitter because I think people need to hear this because it's just cycles.
so excited. Like, it's so funny, too, because obviously the pandemic's played a huge role in this. It's like, you know, like even like in Canada, we're still in lockdown, bro, in Toronto. Like, we're not even allowed to do things. Yeah, it's been 8 months, bro, since like November. So like that gives us more incentive to be on this guy all day. But at the same time, I'm like, as soon as we get out there, we'll have our summer, and then the fall comes back, everything's good. People are gonna be back on the phone, and they're gonna be way into this. You know what I mean? They're gonna be happier. Like, so I'm like, I just feel
fall winter is exactly when it exploded. Chad hit the nail on the head.
like around Christmas, bro. Like
It's going to be Christmas.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is the legend. This is a legendary quote. Oh my gosh, I just found it. So 49 minutes in. Chad, this is hilarious. I got to send this snippet to Chad because we talk about this all the time. Around Christmas time, it's going to feel like Christmas. And it 100% did.
Bro, in Toronto. Like, we're not even allowed to do things. Yeah, it's been 8 months, bro, since like November. So like that gives us more incentive to be on this guy all day. But at the same time, I'm like, as soon as we get out there, we'll have our summer, and then the fall comes back, everything's good. People are gonna be back on the phone, and they're gonna be way into this. You know what I mean? They're gonna be happier. Like, so like, I just feel like around Christmas, bro. Like,
It's going to be Christmas.
it's gonna be Christmas. You got it. I keep telling my fiance, I'm like, see that big Barda baby? She's like, yeah, I see it. I'm like, yeah, that's a purse coming up near you. You know, like,
You better get a couple big ones.
I do. And
That's
bro,
my only regret. That's my only regret is not getting like I mean, everybody has their VeVe regrets, as I call it, because every person got on the app and I guarantee you could have got something that they just didn't. Everybody is going through it. It's just like, how bad is your VeVe regret? You know?
yeah,
Starfire is like the first animated, and then Ritmo is the first fully animated.
I want to get to a little bit
we
further.
like a PP2 set. That's what he said.
Right. So
Yeah.
the Professor has 200 in some editions, right?
Yeah, 450, I think. 450.
450.
Yeah.
got 888. And how many does the Terry have?
750.
Okay.
Because this is like, I see these numbers, bro, all the time, and very across the board, they're pretty even right now.
And when you think there's millions on the app, those differential, like the different amounts, I don't know how much that's going to play a little bit of a difference, of course. I think it's going to go for how popular is the brand. Now, I'm not aware worldwide how much more popular, say, a Harley Quinn is compared to like a Professor.
Yeah.
Compared to Tokidoki. I know Tokidoki is like big worldwide, but like I think it all depends on.
So I know it's not an easy one.
I'm gonna answer in two different ways. Okay. What I think would be most valuable, like to the public, and then which one I would rather have.
Right. Okay, cool.
So which one I would rather have personally? I personally would rather have the Dragon Girl.
I figured so. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to be the most valuable one out of most worldwide. I think.
Oh man!
Seems to have encrypted the Great Pyramid of Giza into the Vitruvian Man.
It's so tough. See, what threw me off too with the Powerpuff Girls said, the Series 2 has less editions than the Series 1.
Yeah,
when
true.
When I was thinking about that, I was like,
interesting.
Series 1 is going to be more valuable, but wait, Series 2 has less editions. So why they did that threw me off big time. And to this day, I don't really know why they threw that little wrinkle in. Because, like, to me, wouldn't you think Series 1 would have, like, the least amount of editions? And then Series 2 is a little bit easier to get.
Bro, that's such a good point. I actually get that confused all the time when I'm talking about that set. Because I'll say the PP1 set, and I'm like, oh, wait, no, the 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
Like, Donnie's the Powerpuff 2 girl. Right? Like that's
like maybe somebody in the comments can like give us some history on that, because I think like that's the one set that I'm like, why did they just hit a set up that has like less than 1,500 editions in total? Like maybe there's a little beta testing there. Like I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
I think that's what it was too. Just to go over and answer this, I think now that we know, it was just so early. They were kind of still filling out the editions. I think so. There wasn't many people on the app back then either. So I think that has to do with it.
It made me rush to get the first Powerpuff Girls set because I was like, you know what? It's kind of cheap. And when I got it a while ago, so it might be a little bit cheaper obviously now. But I was like, this is Series 1 still Powerpuff. So if Donnie's 30K, and I know there's less editions, it's still Series 2.
Right.
So 1 has to be at least somewhat valuable, right? I'm trying to put two together. To this day, it confuses even me. So I don't really know about that.
I know.
About Professor Terry or the Ultra Dragon Girl, man.
It's hard, bro. It's not an easy one. Like, because you said a good point. Like you said, when you talk about popularity, like look at Rizzo, 1750 editions, and it's more expensive than all three of those right now, right? And it's like, so it's like editions not everything, right? Yeah.
It made me start thinking about like when Superman drops and the Ultra Rare, if it's like 1700, like the Rizzo, does that make Superman Ultra Rare like
true?
Just as crazy because. I
don't know why it keeps messing up.
It's probably going to be harder to get the. You think it's going to be harder to get the Superman when there's more and more people, or the Rizzo?
Well, I hope there's not like 180,000 editions of Superman. You know, when it comes out. No.
I don't think they'll do that, man.
No way, bro.
People didn't think they would do that with Back to the Future either, but I think Back to the Future was different. I think cars. They're going to have a lot of cars. Like for some reason, I think they're going to make a lot of them. Maybe they might make like. The accessories, like the rims, maybe a little bit less value, like less editions, I guess you would say. Like maybe there's only 100 of these certain spinner rims that you can get.
Oh, that's so smart, man. No, you make because like that would make sense because if I think about the VeVe-verse, everyone's probably going to want to drive around, but like so they have to have like it's like just going to your GM plant. Like if you're like, oh, I can't get a car for 2 years, sorry, like
yeah, exactly. So. I think they're going to have a lot of additional cars, especially with like I keep saying Need for Speed, but it's not Need. Fast and Furious.
To this day, I get this confused all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, people mix up all the time. But Fast and Furious, when they drop those cars, they may still make a lot of them, but they're going to make them customizable to where maybe only 100 people can get the paint job that Chad has. Like,
yo, NFT Pirates paint job, bro. Just
right.
It's a big black ship. That'd be solid.
But yeah, man, like that's the way I see it. I know it kind of disappointed a lot of people, but I think they had the long-term goal involved in that. And plus, too, I mean, maybe they wanted to make a little bit more money. I know the brands also have a lot of say, too. Maybe the brand was like, no, we want this, like, marketed. Like, we want a lot of people to have this.
Right, right.
But at the end of the day, I always say, I know people have their individual concerns, but I wipe them out. Like, if David told me to run through a wall, I wouldn't even ask why. I would just like, that's how my college coach, bro. I had so much trust and faith in him. Shout out to Juan Renero if he's watching this. He got us to really believe in the program, and that's like us believing in VeVe's fundamentals and the team and their vision. If they say something, I believe them. I trust them. I don't question them. I believe that they're gonna have our best interest at the end of the day. Like,
bro, that's what love is, man. Like, that's why, like, I just trust my fiance, and I'm like, man, that was...
Now there's a difference. Now there's a difference because a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, you're just gonna believe everything they say." I feel like they want feedback. Now, if they drop something and people don't like it, I think it's important that people provide their feedback because they're still trying to play things out, see what works, see what doesn't work. So they're always wanting feedback from the community. You know, if they drop something, maybe they didn't like the way it was dropped. Maybe we want more, you know, whatever the case is. I think it's always great to provide feedback. But I was saying this mostly because a lot of times this is right when the DeLorean dropped. And a lot of people from the community were saying they don't know what they're doing. Like, so I was trying to think, okay, there's random people out there that think they know more than the Akome team and how to run a whole company. It's like I have a feeling that David and the team probably know a little bit more of what they were doing.
Like you said, David, man, you could say anything, and I'd be like, yeah, he's a serious collector. Like, whatever you say goes, you know?
Exactly,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah. Bro, I hope they have, you know, it'd be crazy if they had like 500 different like collectibles just for YouTubers or something in the future, and they were like one of ones, and like they were giving to each one of the YouTubers or something, like a little plaque.
Just so we could use it in our YouTube. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like little, like, you know, AR.
Like, you know how YouTube has the gold plaque, right?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
In one of my videos, I had the Ultraman secret rares, like on my wall there is like a little plaque. What if VeVe had like a gold verified?
Oh my gosh, that would be wild.
VeVe, if you're listening, I want a gold verified. Put me your VeVe.
Verified gold OG plaque. That's what we need. VeVe, Akome, we need a verified OG gold plaque for all the content creators, everybody who wants to make content. Any OG gets a VeVe OG gold plaque to display an AR. Come on.
Bro, we want the black ship in the background with like the 2 golden plaques, Carson, Chad. Like, come on.
Oh my God, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Shout out Carson too. Shout out to Carson.
Yeah, man. He's a very mysterious guy. He's in our videos some of the time, but he's busy. He's a busy guy, so we try to get him in when we can. You know.
Mark it up.
That's awesome. But shout out to he's trying to be a pro
soccer player. Yeah.
People know that though, and I think they shouldn't hear that. That's dope, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. Yeah, he's been playing, man, since he was 3 years old. So like this guy, like he's like training like 8 hours a day. Like so he'll come in for like a quick vid. Before that though, we were joking because it was like because his soccer stuff was closed down because of the pandemic. He was just trading on VeVe like 14 hours a day.
Meet your next pillow. Why do we make our pillow in the shape of a cube? I'll tell you.
So he got it too. He became sick at it. He had like all this stature. He was just like set first, and all these guys were like, okay, like, you know. So
let's go. We built up a rep, man. That's what
built up a rep, man. Yeah,
exactly. I made early, bro, because I was stuck at like 4 sets for the longest time, and it was early, but like because of my reputation and everything, I was able to do trades with people to where I don't think I would have. They were like, send me a first. I'm like, dude, all these scams were happening. I was like, I am not sending anything to you. I have too much to lose. Like, I'm trying to be like a VeVe spokesperson. Like, I'm not. Yeah. Buddy. I was like, you can send it to me first, and I'm going to send it to you back. If I don't, you can blow me up. You can take screenshots. You can show VeVe. You can. I'm not going to beat you. I just want to do the trade. And so that's how I got so many of my sets, man.
Wow, that's legit, man. Like, yo, and trading was risky, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I did a lot of trades too. Like, I've done probably like 150 trades, and yeah, and bro, back in the day though, like it was risky. Like so many guys trying to give you, yo. Well, you know what started it for me was the Nightwing. That's when I got my feet wet because I didn't get the Nightwing, and I was so fucking mad that I was like the next day I was like, who's got Nightwing, and I was paying big money. I think I was paying like $900 at the time too. So I got like 4 Nightwings, and then I started trading them around and stuff. But like at the time, I was just obsessed with it. And then I got my brother into it from that. I gave him a Nightwing, got my mom into it.
Mom's legendary. My grandma. Or your mom's legendary.
Bro, my mom's legendary. She'll come, like, sometimes she'll call me, bro, and she'll be like, hey, she's like, I just bought another, like, I don't know, rare Dragon Girl. She'll be like, I got a number, like, 133. And I'm like, Mom, like, you gotta slow down. Yeah, bro.
My mom's legendary, too. She's the one who found my Pokemon cards, which allowed me
NFT Pirates, his mom, huge collector. Crushing it.
Deep dive right into it and find VeVe. So shout out to both the women. My mom.
Yeah.
But your mom's grinding on the VeVe app though. That's amazing.
She's a real OG, bro. Like I remember first day I showed her. We got into March 9th, so I showed her the Harley Quinn, the Ghoul in March that was almost sold out. And I think like that's when it started for. She bought like 3 of them right there. They were like,
wow.
And that was it. Yeah.
I think it's like she understands it. She gets it. It's an app that's so we're using crypto, blockchain, but you don't even have to understand it. And that's why I feel like it is so different than so many other apps out there where you need to know, you need to go OpenSea website, you need to have a MetaMask, you need to.
That's a game-changing part.
That's for the people who understand crypto. If you want to target 10, 20, eventually 30 million plus people, like you're going to, over obviously 5 years, et cetera, like, but millions of people, you're going to need something that a little kid can use, a grandma can use, a parent, like. You're gonna need something that everybody can use.
Yep.
And bro, you're totally right. In crypto, I find like is very complicated. Like, for sure you can be like, oh, it's not that complicated when you just buy a Bitcoin or whatever. But when you're getting into like, staking, liquidity pools, and like doing all these different things, and it's like, oh yeah, sorry, when you do take your money out, you have to pay gas fees, which sometimes can be like $300. And
like, whoa, what? I'm not doing. I thought this was just something that turns a lot of people off.
Exactly. And then it's risky because you're like, oh, it's all on you. Put your stuff in a cold wallet or a hot wallet, and you're just going to hold whatever, like $4,000 in there minimum. And it's like, people are like, well, I don't want that with my bank. Like,
I truly believe VeVe is going to help get everybody into the NFT space. And people are going to, venture off and get into the other NFT projects or whatever the case is that they like even more or that interests them too. I think once VeVe has the cold wallet, they right now have the Okomi Secure wallet, the $200 wallet. Obviously, it sells out like a VeVe drop. They have that for all your crypto, and that's amazing. But they've also said that they're eventually going to have a VeVe NFT wallet that can hold OMI and your VeVe NFTs. I think once VeVe gets that cold wallet and you can send your NFTs there, I think that's going to be huge, and that's going to start, getting people into kind of how the real crypto world works.
Exactly, man. And I think
VeVe is an introduction to crypto and NFTs, similar to how Coinbase or Robinhood is an easy introduction for people into crypto.
I think VeVe is one of those apps where it's going to bridge the gap finally. It's going to allow people to just use the VeVe app, and then it's going to allow people to, if they want to dive down the rabbit hole,
exactly.
get involved in crypto. And I only say that from experience. I was the person that had no experience who now is obsessed with it.
So yeah, with your experience now, like when I'm talking to you, I'm like, this guy knows everything, man. Like, so it's good.
Dude, I feel like I've done so much research and studying to where I am educated on a lot of it. I don't know everything, but I don't know. Like, I'm still stuck on one question: is it Terry? Is it Ultra Dragon Girl? Right. I don't comics that well, like their fan base wise. So it's hard for me to tell. Maybe I still say Ultra Dragon Girl, but I could be wrong. Maybe the Harley Quinn fan base is just so explosive, and that just blows it out of the water. Or maybe same with Powerpuff Girls. I know that's huge. So
right, but I like your thinking because you got first ever brand partner, you've got like first artist alley. You've got something that will look amazing in the VeVe verse. Like there's a lot of elements there. It's cool. The 888 editions, like it's gonna be super rare. Like come on, yeah.
Mario Carters, he's a legend too, and he's got number 888.
I fucking hate that guy. I tweeted he's like I was talking about him. I was like, check out the him, and he like responds back. He's like, yo, Chad, I got two. And I'm like, dude.
I like Mario. Cool. See, I love people like that, man, in my circle because I get to learn so much from these people. Like,
for sure.
I'm just looking up all the info from him. Shout out to El Tigre, Leota. Big fan of him too.
Leota seems super cool. That's like a
so much information, knowledge. Like, I feel like they're the teachers and I just go to class. I'm just like, tell me, like, keep talking, just tell me stuff. I just want to learn.
And you can tell they know so much, like especially Meryl Carter's as well, like about all the other NFTs, and like so it's cool that they're on VeVe because they have such like a wide like reaching knowledge about everything else in crypto. So then if they're still like looking at VeVe as like a number one thing, then you're like, well, obviously this is coming from a really good source, you know? Like, yeah.
That's another thing. It almost like validates it, like at a certain point. Like they're early to find things, man. Like so, I'm tuned in with them. Like they find stuff early, but I don't have the kind of budget. Like I can't be in everything. You know what I mean? I can't be like in this one, that one. So the way I see things, I know everybody's not like that either. I know a lot of people are in the same boat as me. Like they can't be in everything. So the way I try to like give people my experience and what I would do almost. And if I didn't have that much money to be in everything, because I mean, sure, the safest bet is to have a little bit in, I guess, everything. But the way I can't do that. Be smart with your investments. Be in stuff that you know that is going to be here long term. And I see it as IP, brand, licenses. I think there's going to be so many NFT projects that pop up, but going to be ones that have a safer bet than VeVe.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like you and I could start our little like bootleg Netflix company tonight, but it's never going to be Netflix, you know?
Right.
Like you have like these high school students now, like creating like friggin' like crypto brands. I'm like, okay, like for sure some of them can pop off, but when you're hundreds of licenses deep, I mean, like nobody's going to catch up to that. Like
what I'm so impressed with them is the foundation they had, the foresight they had in 2016, 2017. When they said brands couldn't spell NFT. And I bet it was true. They were like getting kicked out of meetings because they mentioned blockchain and that's part of the Bitcoin scam. Like people just didn't know back then. Like so the fact that they knew that eventually NFTs are gonna blow up. And they focused on the part that was the hardest and took the longest. It took 4 years to get all these licenses. Licensing is the hardest thing.
Yep.
Alfred Kahn is the legend. He's like the Steve Jobs I look at. Like VeVe is the, and Al Khan is the Steve Jobs. Like,
I think we got 3 Steve Jobs.
They just position themselves perfectly. They're like, we're just gonna work on this for about 4 years, quietly, low key, do all the hard stuff, and we're gonna position ourselves to be poised to be the number one mass market, fully adopted platform. That's where,
bro, you hit that hard. Like that's perfect, and like the timing is amazing, right?
Market is up.
Came in, got everybody like now like adopted technology even more, and then they're like perfect. We're launching simultaneously. Like it was just it's insane the timing.
Like I think I might cry after Tom Brady mentioned VeVe.
I'm waiting for that moment, man.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for because I know what it's gonna do. And the excitement around the community, bro. When that's what's gonna be amazing to watch.
Looks like the market's up, but I can't find the comic book in the store.
Is when little steps happen and like little marketing. Oh, we saw a commercial. Like we get hyped when we saw a YouTube ad of VeVe. What happens when we see a real commercial of like Dan Crowther speaking on TV or something?
Bro, like the whole community will go viral. Everybody will make a YouTube video off of
Here it is.
Like,
right. It would just be
all right. 14 secret rares going for 180. 169, 180. Ultra rare going for 55, 60. We got the rare going for 15. And I'm going to guess the uncommon or under retail. Uncommon's 540. We got the common going for 420.
Unbelievable. Like I can vision that.
Shout out
like,
420.
I can literally see my parents and being like, we did it.
Yeah. And then I remember when Elon Musk was trolling Cardano. I don't know if you saw that. He put like a fork in the road as his profile picture. And I remember because I was got into Cardano early, and a lot of the guys were like freaking out, being like, "Wow, like this is insane!" And then that's when it really took off. And I'm like thinking to myself, "There's going to be like it might not be obviously Tom Brady or Elon Musk, but there's even like a big football player like Marshawn Lynch or like Adrian Peterson or something. It's like, go check out my NFT.
Ricky Williams. Who knows? Who knows, right?
And like that just like could start the wildfire, right?
It's all it's going to take. And like we know Logan's mentioned only Logan Paul, so like
Shout out Logan.
Not even that high may mention it, and it may do that. So, like, I think people that we know are involved, there's a reason why they're not talking about it yet. They know that it's not ready yet. They're sitting back, they're accumulating, and they're just moving to Puerto Rico for a reason. and they're just chilling, and we're waiting for the right time. And
Yo, totally. And bro,
And to go off of that, what we're waiting for, I believe, are the catalysts that everybody wants here. Once we're able to cash out, once we have the web app, once we have KYC for everybody, that is when I truly believe that we're going to start to see a lot of celebrities start promoting VeVe. We just need a lot of big catalysts first. Web app, KYC, cash out for everyone.
oh, there's some massive. Yo, I don't know if you know this, but there's some massive whales on this app. Like I'm talking, like I thought you had a lot of collectibles, bro. There's some guys that are like low key, like not saying a word. Yeah, 2,000 plus deep, bro, and they're just like chilling. Like 12 Rizzos, like 14 FE 500 friggin' Harley Quinns. Like, come on,
Right.
you know?
I love the fact that people keep mentioning me because I appreciate that so much. You know, everyone's just supporting me.
Yeah.
I appreciate the shout outs. But I also know like I ain't even like a big whale. Like I'm just a little small fish in this big ocean.
Bro, you're like a small whale, but we're like dolphins. Like you got us, and then the Gale is like another small whale, but he's actually medium whale now. He's got like 250 maybe.
Oh yeah, that's big. Yeah, that's big.
And then
See,
yeah.
you can't go wrong because you're getting all these FAs. So like even the unicorn, bro, you can just stash up 10 unicornos. They're all FAs. What happens when they're on Series 4? It's like you got Series 1.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't even seen Series 2, 3, 4 yet of the Unicornos.
We're doing like I'm just like I just want the stuff where people can't get it. Like that's the stuff that's gonna make. I just would love to hold a Rizzo. And man, and like we were talking about this too. Like in the future, be able to rent out your Rizzo, right? Like,
Dude, that I'm waiting for, bro. I cannot wait. Drop these hints, right? Because the move to immutable, I think, is what's going to make that possible. He keeps talking, and he mentioned this on purpose. This is why I posted the video. It's like a recap because the fact that he mentioned this kind of allows you to think like this is where he's thinking. This is what me and Papa were thinking about last night. He mentioned, say if this is what he was saying. He's like, say if the floor and all the Rizzos was 20K, and you could use that as collateral and on immutable when I think Aave or something, or one of these like layer 2 solutions to where you can use it as collateral and it's like DeFi basically because the floor is set at 20K, and he said 20K, and so it's like where.
Yeah, like he's like oops, like you're like oh I caught that. Like, yeah.
He made sure he said like I'm not saying this is what the floor is, but just say when Rizzo's 20K, like you can tell like that's where you're staying.
Yeah.
I think Rizzo is only $2,000 at this point.
That's so
Like
funny.
keep it going.
For sure. Well, and man, like it's amazing to me, when these like I remember talking to some of the OGs and they're like, yeah, like Rizzo was like 138 gems after it got sold out. And sometimes they're even at like a discount or something. And I was like, bro, like that's just so wild to me. And like right now, we might be thinking the same thing, like, oh, it's only 3.1K, 20K, right? And it's like, oh, like that's just an entry, 20K for Rizzo. No worries.
Dude, that's where we're at because I remember when the Rizzo was like 500 gems in the marketplace. And I was like, oh, this is before I was like spending a lot of money. Right? It's like, okay, I know I'm going to spend a lot of money. Let me spend it all at once, go all in. I did it like little by little. So I remember seeing Rizzo like 500K or 500 gems. I was like, oh, it's getting close to 1,000. Do I pounce? It's the Rizzo. But I wasn't spending over 100 yet. Like, so 1,000, I was like, oh man, it still feels good, but it's like 1,000 gems. It's like early March still. I'm like, I didn't pounce on it. And then I bought my Starfire for 85 gems in the marketplace.
Oh my God.
82 gems. I'm gonna post the video so people can see like because it says bought it in 80. I think it was like 82.90.
And I'm playing this a lot just to show people we all wanted those prices back again, right? Just imagine if Rizzo was this or Tao was this again or Superman was this. Not financial advice. I think we're kind of there again. Imagine, 6 months from now, next fall. I think we're going to be seeing crazy prices by then.
Wow. But even at the time, I was like, it's like $15 over retail. Like, I don't know.
Bro, I hate you because I got it 6 days later and there was no marketplace. So we didn't even see those prices, bro. It was
the day before the market shut down completely.
That's crazy.
I think I made my first purchase March 3rd. I joined like March. I think I made my first purchase March 3rd. I might have joined the app March 1st, but couldn't get the funds until March 3rd. March 4th. I think it closed March 5th or March 4th. The market.
See, bro. Oh
And
my
I
God.
got worried because I remember before they said they were going to take off all the bids on the marketplace. They said when they opened up the market again, everything was just going to be there. So that meant all the original prices were going to be there. So everyone's kind of bugging out, like, did I have a Rizzo listed for cheap? Because now it's way. So people are emailing VeVe like, you got to clear the marketplace. Like, things have changed, and so they did. Thank God. I don't know if I had anything listed for sale, but I remember just like trying stuff in the marketplace because we were so new. So I didn't want to like list something stupid for like $100.
Like your Rizzo, my 3 Rizzos for $100.
Can you imagine?
100%. And bro, there was a lot of people that sold right before that were like so pissed. Like a guy that I knew like sold a Robin, the ultra rare, for like I think it was like 83 gems too, or like around there. Just like
no, I mean, we didn't know. The funny thing,
What's the volume
I
work?
kind of went the opposite way. Luckily, when I first found the marketplace and everything, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me see if this works." So I was buying stuff in the store, say like a unicorn, like a common or uncommon, still in stock. I'm listed on the marketplace for like $3 million. I was like, and the funniest thing is, I'm sitting there waiting, like, is it gonna sell? Is it gonna?
It was so new. We didn't know anything, so I was literally buying stuff out of the store when it was still in stock, and then listing it in the market for like a couple hundred, sometimes for like millions, just to see what would happen. But like, I didn't realize that like I'm listing stuff for market that's still in the store for
there's
stock.
some guy that wants to donate $3 million on the app.
I was so when I said I knew nothing, I was like, and I was like, oh wait, it's not even out of stock yet. What am I talking about? Wait, this isn't uncommon. No one's gonna pay for anything, bro. It's so funny to see how far it came.
Bro, and it took us like a little bit of time too. Like we didn't know mints were so important until we really got into the marketplace more, because we were really going after mints on Telegram, but nobody else cared about mints like us. So
you
could like
you were so early. You were there when you could feel the wave of people being like, it's crazy. You're gonna remember that for the rest of your life, bro. Because it's
We were on Telegram when the Telegram had like nobody in it. The Discord had like nobody in it. Now it's just popping.
It's so weird.
You have the foresight to see like, wait, not only are these collectibles are important, the actual mint numbers. If you can get an early one sub 100, that means you were one of the first. Like, people didn't put that together. Like, I didn't put that together honestly for the first like 3 weeks, maybe a month even. Like, it took me a while to figure that one out.
But it's funny, like that's because a lot of people did it, and what it did is actually deterred our original insight. Because I was like, "Oh, mint numbers matter," and everyone else was like, "No, they don't." And then I was like, "Oh, maybe they don't." You know what I'm trying to say?
Holy cow!
But then I was like, "No, we have to keep this in." So we were still looking for sub 100s and stuff. But it was funny because people didn't care. Like, they're like, "Oh yeah, here's my like whatever big Barda. I'll give you like a number 300 mint," and you're like, "Oh, okay. Here's my like last."
It's so hard to relate and to tell people how these feelings felt back then. Best way I can describe it is like finding a gold mine downtown, wherever your city is, and everybody just walking past it. The feeling was unbelievable these days.
Todd, take it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Nobody knew like anything.
No, exactly. I think I traded. But that just shows you how early we are too, man. Like, back then, and it shows you the audience that we have, or not the audience, I should say, the user base that we have. We don't have collectors on the app. And I was to the Todd Father last night. I think they did this on purpose. Think about it. They could have targeted anybody they wanted on this app first, right? They didn't target collectors first. They just talked about how they're starting to target collectors. They targeted crypto people at first.
Right.
Now they're not even targeting crypto people. And they don't really want to. They want to do a mass market type thing. They targeted crypto people at first, I think, for this reason.
This is my speculation.
They're geniuses, bro. They're like geniuses who run this company. If they target crypto people are into like things booming quick, like 3 months, boom, sell. If they targeted collectors first, there would be no marketplace. Everybody should be buy, hodl, buy. Their marketplace in app. They target.
Imagine if they targeted the Batman collectors and everything right away. There would be no market. Everybody would just be collecting them.
Crypto people first. Yo, buy, flip, buy, flip. Like, they're just buy, flip, buy. And that accelerates the marketplace. That gets them money. That gets things stimulated. That gets going. and they can use it as stats. Like, look how much we sold in the marketplace, etc.
Right.
So that's been my speculation, that they targeted crypto people first. I think they were almost like dangling the fruit in front of all the crypto flipping heads because they knew they would flip it.
Oh, and now they kind of like target who they want on the app. So it's almost so funny. They just dangled the fruit, like all these people who had no idea what was happening, and people bought it, and then they gave it away, and then they're gonna look back in a year and be like, "Oh my god, I just gave away 10 bitcoins."
Yeah. And dude, like, it's not that crazy of a thought, right? Like, man, everybody keeps thinking like these edition numbers, and I'm like, bro, season 1 stuff always going to be most sought after, and then you have like 1750 editions or less of a lot of these collectibles. Like, when I think about that,
Like, what's 1,700 out of 2 million? Like, that's like a reasonable number. Like, by the end of the year,
right?
begin 2022. Like,
I said 2 million people. We had 2 point how many million active monthly users? Now some people are going to say they're not real, etc. It all depends on how you qualify an active user. But the fact that we were talking about this many users, people were making fun of me in chat saying there's no way they would have that many people.
that's going to be crazy. And like you said, they may like highlight or something, like have a little fiery glow to them, like all season 1 collectibles or a badge or something. Like,
bro, honestly, like, the implications are amazing. Like, I try to convince a lot of my friends. I'm like, some of them buy in, and other ones, like, they just don't get the NFT thing still. They're like, I'm not going to do it. Like, you're an idiot for doing that. I'm like, bro, like, they don't understand buying something that's like digital, like that it's not like a physical, tangible, real thing for them.
And that's pretty much all it is in this video. Shout out to Pirates, Chad. Great video. And hit the nail on the head. You know, a lot of my friends still to this day are kind of iffy. They want to be able to actually see and feel a tangible item. They don't really want, you know, something that they can't see. But it only takes something for them to be interested in, and then they start opening up the possibilities of how this is actually real. Like my dad, for example, I'll talk about it again. My dad was never really into the digital collectibles, cell phones, the new technology. But as soon as he started thinking about a Captain America Harley Davidson bike from one of the movies that he liked, it's not Knight Rider, I always forget the name, but it started making him think. He even came to me and said, that should be an NFT. And I was like, what is happening right now? Because my dad finally found something he's interested in, and he thought about it. I would love to own that digitally if he had a cell phone. But that's all I think it is. I think it just takes people our age, maybe a little bit older, younger. Once they find an NFT, a digital collectible that they're interested in, then they start getting into it. Right now, they don't equate an NFT to something that they could be interested in. Right now, to most people, an NFT seems like a scam or expensive animal pick. That's all most people think an NFT is. So we're still early in the days. Let's go. Shout out Katsu Machu. Shout out to Miss Rose just joining. Smashing the like button. Appreciate that big time. I'm going to be signing out in just a moment. We could have something big coming out for tomorrow. I don't want to guarantee it, but we may have a special guest appearance. We'll figure it out. But if not, probably some more coming later this week. I'm going to go over the details, or not the details, but the market prices of this comic book one last time. More are going to be delivered. So prices could change in the next hour or so. We still about half have to be delivered today. So 10.3K out of 20K left, basically. We have the secret rare. There's 39 of them going for 138, 129 in the market. We got the ultra rare going for 37. Secret rare is still pending. Hopefully you get it before the prices go too low. We got the rare going for 13. Rares always seem extremely cheap. We got the uncommons going for $5.99. And we got the common at $3.25. December still in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. I know it's late for you. Hopefully you wake up and you got some pending. Or you don't have any pending. You have that secret rare delivered. Ultra rare delivered. Imagine you wake up middle of the night and then you check and it's still pending. Hopefully you get yours delivered soon, December. With all that being said, I am signing out today. Appreciate you guys big time for tuning in. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Hopefully we have a special guest on the live stream. I think it'd be fun. You know, my first person bringing on the actual YouTube channel. And if it doesn't happen tomorrow, I think it could happen later this week. Maybe I'll bring another special guest on. Maybe we do like instead of an in-person interview, I hop on the Zoom, or I just bring someone else on the channel from the from the community. So I think this week is going to be pretty fun. We do have one more comic drop in tomorrow. It's at Silver Surfer. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Instagram we're following. I put out announcements all the time. I'm interested to see what the next collectible drop is. We know the next comic book dropping, but we don't know the next collectible just yet. I want to hear predictions. What could be happening May 4th? Do you guys think we're going to see Star Wars dropping? I know Doctor Strange is something that a lot of people have been talking about. I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments down below once this gets uploaded. What do you think the next collectible drop is? I want to hear your thoughts. Till then, I'm signing out, fam. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, fam.